So to all the Patreon members, I want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. Thank you for your patience. If you're here from the last live stream, welcome back again. We're going to get into talking about dating in Taiwan. If I had to experience Asia all over again. So I'm going to touch on different topics. One of them being dating in Taiwan, but really I want to this live stream, the purpose of this live stream is for anybody who's thinking about traveling or living abroad in Asia, why you should pick Taiwan over the other countries, in my opinion, right? Especially if you're a young dude looking for guidance. In my opinion, I don't think you should be really living abroad until you're 30, right? But if you're 24, 25 and you do what you want to do and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm still going to travel over there. Well, at least listen to this video first as a guidance so you'll know where to choose from first, where to go first, right? Where to start from scratch. When I say start from scratch, I'm talking about, well, I'll tell you in a minute, all right? But check out the links in the description box below for the Facebook page, the Facebook group. All right, join other like-minded brothers that are sharing their experiences and photos and articles and stuff of that nature, you know, on the same topic of traveling in the Facebook group. Link is in the description box below for the Patreon page. I made a video the other day. I uploaded a video the other day, and I'm going to upload another one tonight. All right, so you don't want to miss it. Weekly videos are being uploaded to the Patreon page. Okay. Now, before we get into today's topic, right, dating in Taiwan, if I had to experience Asia all over again. This is a very nice photo right here. Hold on. This is a very nice photo. Oh, hold on, real quick. Real quick. That's a nice photo, but it's not real. It's AI. Yeah, this is an AI generated photo, but I mean that's basically what certain parts of Taipei look like. All right. Man, these AI videos are very, very realistic looking. All right. But before I bless you with today's sermon, all right, before I bless you with today's live stream, I want the pastor to bless us with a couple words of encouragement before we get into today's live stream. I'm gonna let Pastor have a few words before we get into today's live stream.
And I'm here to tell you, as a middle school teacher at my old school, 7th and 8th grade, when everybody wants to be a YN, walking around with ski mask on your face. I take ski masks because I tell them, if you catch me outside of this school and walk up on me with a ski mask on, you liable to go see the Lord. Don't walk around with a ski mask on because it ain't no snow out here in Negro. You can't ski.
Negro, you can't ski. All right, Negro, you can't ski. Let's listen to that message one more time.
And I'm here to tell you, as a middle school teacher at my old school, 7th and 8th grade, when everybody wants to be a YN, walking around with ski masks on your face. I take ski masks because I tell them, if you catch me outside of this school and walk up on me with a ski mask on, you liable to go see the Lord. Don't walk around with a ski mask on because it ain't no snow out here in Negro. You can't ski.
All right, thank you for that message. Thank you, Reverend, for that message. That was a very important message. I don't know if y'all knew, but that's a very, very important message. All right, so let me put this photo up here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, here. I don't know if you guys want this picture up or the other one up. I kind of like this one more. I've had this photo here for years. Okay. Um, while I'm talking to you, I want to pull up a Google Maps Taipei. I'm not going to show that on screen. I just want to show that for myself so I don't forget where where everything is. Okay. Cuz I want to refresh in my memory while I'm talking to you guys. I would like some, I don't know, maybe I should play some jazz music in the background. I don't know. But anyways, once again, my name is Splashway B, Splash on check-in. Thank you for tuning in. I've either been living or traveling abroad for the last 16 years. I'm actually going out the country tonight. All right. I have lived in Taiwan for 3 years. All right. I lived in Taiwan for 3 years, and I said to myself when I got there, I'm like, I should have went to this country first. All right. I've pretty much been everything you could think of in Asia. I've been a visitor, a tourist, right? I've been a student, went to university. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been a worker. Okay. I have had visas where it's like, for the next 6 months, I'm just relaxing, doing nothing. I've done nothing. So it's like I've done everything in Asia. All right. So I do have experience on, traveling, living abroad. I lived in Thailand off and on for 8 years. I've traveled to neighboring countries, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore. I lived in China, been to Hong Kong, been to Korea multiple times, been to Japan. Haven't been in the Philippines. I think most guys want to travel to the Philippines, not so much live in the Philippines. We're talking about living, all right? We're talking about living, all right? And it's just not focused on one race. I know that I got a brother on the screen with a cute Taiwanese woman, over there. I forget the name of that district that he's in, right? But it's AI generated. This is for all race of people. This is mainly for young brothers who are thinking about living abroad. I mean, people of all ages that are thinking about living abroad, right? But definitely for people that are young, that are being misguided on the internet. Y'all know that I from my point of view, I give it to you straight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to gain a bunch of views. I mean, I'm happy if I only get 100 views. That means 100 people actually listen to what I had to say. So let's get into it. Why would I choose Taiwan over other neighboring countries? All right. So Taiwan is very, if I had to describe Taiwan in one word, I would have to say convenient. It's probably one of the most convenient places I've ever been to and lived in my whole entire life. All right. More than Thailand, more than China, all right, more than Japan. Well, I never really lived in Japan. I visited Japan, more than Korea, right? You could probably make the argument about Japan, but um, Taiwan is that spot. Like there are like the 7-Elevens and the Family Marts and what's that? There's another one. A High Life. I think it's called High Life. So High Life, Family Mart, 7-Elevens are very popular in Taiwan. And there's so many You could be standing on one corner and there's a 7-Eleven High Life and a Family Mart on one corner. Then you walk to the next block and there's another 7-Eleven, Family Mart, High Life. And there's another one. There's another one as you keep walking. They're open 24/7, and you can literally eat a full course meal out of 7-Elevens in Taiwan. Not in Thailand. All right, Thailand, they only serve like chips and sodas and stuff like that. But in Taiwan, they serve like full course meals throughout the day, throughout the night. They come packaged. They make them in the back. They come packaged. They're packed in the front, and you could have that any given moment in time of the day or the night. And it's very convenient. So if you don't feel like cooking something or going out to a restaurant or going to the grocery store, you just go to any one of those convenience stores at any given moment in time throughout the day or throughout the night, heat it up, eat it, you're good to go. All right. If I was a young dude thinking about traveling anywhere, I would tell you to go to Taiwan, not only because it's very convenient, they have public transportation, the bus system is very nice, the train system is very nice, not that expensive. Places like Shinju, all right, Taiwanese chicks checking heavy. Hold on, we're going to get there, we are going to get there. Let me, hold on. Hold on. Ozzy, man, you are jumping the gun. Relax. Ozzy's a little bit too excited. We gonna get there. So let me just keep it on here. I think this is like the best screen for me to keep this on. Okay. If you're looking for, because I can really only tell you about two different places. All right. I can really only tell you about two different places. What, maybe three. All right. But if you're looking for cleanliness, a really, really nice apartment, right? Just a beautiful, upscale, clean, damn near eat off the sidewalk type of environment, looks real exotic. You want to move to this place right here. Be around intelligent people. You want to move to this place right here. It's called Shinju. It's pronounced Shinju. When I first went there, I pronounced it Sinchu. And they was like, no, it's pronounced Sinju. I'm like, oh, okay. So I pronounced it wrong. But man, this place right here, this is I lived here for about a year and a half, right? You see, this is how the condos look like. Some of them are for rent. I would choose Sinju, but if you're looking more for, like, if you're single, you're looking more for the nightlife and everything, you want to move to Taipei. All right. But if you don't have your own business, if you're looking for work in Taipei, you most definitely are going to be able to find work in this area right here. But here's the thing. Like, you're gonna have a more difficult time over here than you are over here in Sinju. Okay, Sinju. The reason why I say that is because they have what's called Science Park. It's over in the East District. All right, I can't point exactly where Science Park is. I think it's over here somewhere. But people from all over who are into science, some of those smartest people that are into science on this island, right, that have a science major, they all go to this area right here. They all go to Sinju, all right? And the best of the best go there to work on the, semiconductors, to because if you guys don't know, the number one semiconductor supplier in the world is right here in Sinju in Taiwan, right? And I lived right there. So yeah, I used to teach in Taiwan, right? But when I was teaching their kids versus these kids over in Taipei, I noticed that the kids in Hsinchu, they were very, very smart. They were more well behaved than the kids over in Taipei. Like I took the kids over here for granted because I wanted more money, right? They're not paying as much in Hsinchu, but let me tell you, like the amount of money you're making over here, it's more than enough, and it's less of a headache. The kids are less of a headache to deal with in Hsinchu than over in Taipei. Trust me. All right, because I think their parents have to know English in order to work in Science Park. So all the kids' parents I've ever met in Hsinchu, they all spoke English. Very, very clean. Well, like the East District, it's more. Um, it has more of that aged look, but it still looks nice. It's that it has more of that aged look. But I know in this area right here, um, like I used to live in this area right here. I used to go to this Costco's all the time. If you could look in the background, these are the condos. These are what the condos look like. I want to get an aerial view. Well, not an aerial view, but like a street view of it. But you know, but whatever. I suggest that if you move to Hsinchu, move to this area right here, Jubei. Jubei is the nicest neighborhood or the nicest sector of Hsinchu, right? I mean, I could drop this anywhere, and you're just gonna like look at the area. All right. I wanted to get more of a. I wanted to drop you where all the condos are. People live up here, but they're very, very nice. I've been in some of these condos over here. Um, right. Now, my advice to you, if you are a young guy, even if you're somebody of age or whatever, and you're thinking about relocating, um, I advise you at first to get to know if you want to date women. Right now, we're getting into the subject of women. All right, this is for Ozzy and all the brothers out there. All right, no, where's that gym I used to go to? What was the name of that gym I used to go to? It wasn't too far from. Okay, it was Jubei Station over here, and this because right here, this is where Liu Hua, or however you pronounce it. This is the high speed rail right here. Right, this is the high speed rail. I recorded many videos over here for you guys. Oh, you know, this is the mall. I used to go to this mall. It's really nothing in there, but this is the high speed rail. This is this is what the condos look like over here, fellas. This is Jubei. Hold on now. We're gonna talk about the ladies, but hold on. Like I'm trying to show you something fly. Look how clean this is. Right? Look how clean this is. It's very safe. You can ride your motorbike around here. You can ride a motorcycle if you want a motorcycle around here. It's not like Thailand where everybody's crashing into each other and riding on the sidewalk and driving the wrong opposite way. You see these vehicles right here? This is the vehicles from people that work in Science Park. This ain't no cheap vehicle right here. This is a Volvo crossover. You know how much that costs? Right? Look at the vehicles. So these are all condos. Like you go on a listing, you can mess around and live in any one of these condos right here. Look at this condo. I used to ride past this condo right here every single day. Man, it's like it's like a forest on people's balconies, and it's on each floor, right? Look at this one. Here's another example, right? Same style condo is over there, right? Everybody's balcony is just filled with plants and forestry. And, if you're not into that, you can move into something like this one right here. It has a huge balcony, right? So this is the park. I've taken women over here to this park. Okay. So I'm trying to show you the lifestyle you could be living when you live in Taiwan. Okay. Now let's talk about the ladies. I'm having flashbacks, memories, and yes, they're all palm trees. They're imported, but they're all palm trees, and to give it that exotic look. In Shinju, in Jubei, the north side. This is the north side of Shinju, right? This is Jubei. You spell it ZHUBEI or Z, depending on who you're talking to. I've been in here. I remember I met up with a chick over here at this 7-Eleven right here. This 7-Eleven right here. I had a date with a chick inside of here, right? And like I said, you can have 3-course meals out of 7-Eleven here. I had a chick with this one, like her face was kind of, she was cute. It was a tad bit strong, but the body was on point. All right. The body was on point. I remember this 7-Eleven right here. All right. And this used to be Jason's Market. This right here, they changed it. I guess Jason's Market ain't around no more. So it's called Mia Cabon Market. Jason's Market was damn, man, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but Jason's Market, look at this condo right here. Jason's Market was like the Western, I think it might have been from the UK or whatever, but it's like a westernized market where it had really, really good fruit. All the Western spices, herbs, condiments that you're looking for, it's all here. It was all here, but they changed it. But it was called Jason's Market. Yeah, this is brand new. Oops. Let's hold on now. All right, so I remember having a first date with a chick over here. Now, mind you, in America, if you tell a woman like, "Hey, our first date, let's go to 7-Eleven," she's gonna hang the phone up on you and block you. All right. And this is a Japanese spot. All right. So really, really nice area. All right. So clean and modern, nice. Yes. Ozzy is correct. Now, if you a young dude or a man of a certain age, how do you approach Asia? If I could do it all over again, right, I would have went to Taiwan. Not only would I went to Taiwan, I would have became a student. That's the best way to find a woman of quality in Asia, is to become a student. Find somebody at the university. All right. Whichever university you choose, find a woman at the university. Because the woman you meet at the university is going to be totally different than the women you meet on dating apps and the nightclub. Totally different, night and day. It's not like America where the woman who's attending a university, right, going to the club, and the woman that you meet on dating apps are going to be different. No, they all the same. They all got the same mindset. They all doing the same whole shit out here in America. The woman at the club, the church, the school, they all the same out here. Whereas like in Asia, they're all different, right? The women equality that you see at schools, the women equality that you see at schools out here in Asia, like they don't like going to the clubs. They go to the club if it's like, a friend's birthday or whatever, but they don't, a lot of them don't like going to the club. I met a lot of good girls at school that was like, no, I don't like going to the clubs. It's just too loud. They all said that. Too loud, too loud. It's too loud. Right. Now, this is what I was talking about, like, because I'm a motorcycle rider, but and this is kind of frowned upon in America because, like, look, nobody wears gear. I mean, this is the norm. Nobody wears gear. And look at all these motorbikes. This is how most people get around. This is a mode of transportation for a lot of people, in Taiwan, right? No gear, right? Now in Taiwan, you have to wear a helmet, but nobody's wearing gear, right? This is a go-go. Remember, I was telling you guys about different scooters, and you don't see go-go's in Thailand. I never saw a go-go in Japan either, or Korea, but go-go's are in Taiwan. They're called Gogoro. This is like the cheaper model right here, but it's still very nice. It's electric. Under the seat are batteries, and they have battery stations. So you can literally like go to a grocery store, like a 7-Eleven. They'll have like a wall of batteries on the outside. And with your app, your phone, you can take the batteries out from yours and then put it in the wall and take the charged batteries from the wall and put it in yours. It's very, very convenient. All right. Very convenient. It's like riding with R2D2. It's booping and beeping. And this is one of the cheaper models. The first time I ever saw a go-go, I was living on the east side of Shinju, the southeast side, and I ordered Uber Eats, and a guy pulled up with a black one, but it was like a more expensive one. And that shit was booping and beeping. I'm like, damn, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, it's a go-go. I'm like, damn. But the negative side about riding these go-go's is like the sides right here, they scratch up real easily. But it seemed like this model, they changed up the material. So it looked like, they scratch up real easily. So then they started inventing some of these accessories that you can cover over the sides so they don't scratch up easily. Right. But damn, I'm were you teaching English out there? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was teaching English in Shinju and Taipei. But if you're a young dude and you're thinking about moving to Asia, I'll move to Taiwan, I'll become a student, right? That's the best way to find a woman of quality is at these universities. I keep stressing it. I don't know. This is a bank. But anyways, I don't know how many times I have to stress that to men out there. But guys, they want to come out here and the first thing they do is teach English and they want to look for women in the clubs, online dating. No, you're not going to find women of quality online dating or at the clubs. You have to become a university student. So, if you got your money saved up, you don't have to save up for all 4 years. Save up enough for like maybe 6 months to a year of rent. Damn, what happened here? Okay, this keeps glitching. That's my HDMI cable. But where was I? 6 months to a year, and then look for a job when you get here. Like the Taiwanese student visas are very lax. This is a grocery store right here. It's called PX Mart. I used to go to PX Mart. This is one of the smaller PX Marts, but I used to go to PX Mart. It's upstairs and downstairs. All right. But what was I gonna say? 6 months to a year, and then you can find a job. Taiwanese visa, the student visas are very lax. They'll allow you to work and go to school at the same time. Thailand, they won't let you, right? Here's another condo. These are nice. I've been in this one. This thin one right here, I've been in this exact one. I remember this one. I've been because when I got there, I'm like, damn, this is like this is one of the thinnest buildings. This ain't even the thinnest building I've been in. The thinnest condo I've been to was the one in Taipei. But you can live in condos like this, go to school, right? Shinju is there's like major universities in Shinju. It's like Science Park and University Town. It's a very quiet, peaceful, friendly place to go to. Like the people are very friendly in Taiwan or in Shinju, right? But go to school, and this is another thing I want to stress to you guys. This is another thing I want to stress, that if you don't take anything from this video, listen to me here and listen to me clearly. If I could do it all over again, if I could do it all over again, guys, if I could do this all over again, I would have went to school and I would have majored in the Chinese language. My major would have been Chinese, Mandarin, the Mandarin language, Chinese language, Mandarin. I would have majored in Mandarin if I could do it all over again. That's one of the biggest regrets that I have in life. I know people say, "Oh, I live with no regrets," and yeah, truly, I don't. But these are nice condos. I used to ride through here all the time. I don't have regrets, but let me tell you, that was one of my biggest regrets ever, was not going to university in Taiwan and not majoring in the Chinese language. All right. If I'd have been if my major would have been the Chinese language and I was fluent in Chinese, oh, you can literally work anywhere you want in the world. Right. That's like printing money. English is my native tongue. Chinese, I'm fluent in because of my major. Oh, you're printing money. You could literally stay in Taiwan and translate students' thesis papers every year. That's making money hand over fist, right? How many pages is a thesis? Like 50, right? Uh, man, like you could literally, like people who are, trying to get to a university or trying to go to America or whatever, man, they need their paperwork like edited by an English native. And you're like, okay, if you're Chinese, or you could translate documents from Chinese to English or English to Chinese, dude, like I knew somebody, like they were charging like $50, $60 a page. You're talking about 50 pages. Do you know how much money people were making? I knew a girl, she was from Japan. She knew Japanese. I used to ride on here to go back to the east side all the time. And this is like people walk down here. They got nice condos down this strip right here too. There's so many nice condos in Shinju, right? But I knew this girl. She lived by Taipei 101. If you don't know what Taipei 101, that's like the huge skyscraper in Taipei. All right. So yes, this is the entrance. This is how the entrance of condos look. Like a big ass hotel, right? This is a condo, right? A lot of condos, their entrance looks like this. This looks like a bank you would go into downtown, like the entrance. It looks insane. It's like a building, an office building downtown New York you would walk into. But no, this is just a regular condo in Jubei, right? But yeah, like I was saying, I knew this girl. She lived downtown Taipei by Taipei 101. It's a very upscale, swanky area. It's called Xinyi District. She lived in the Xinyi District, and her rent was like 50,000 Taiwan dollars a month, right? 60,000 Taiwan dollars a month. And all she was, like, she knew English, Japanese, and Chinese. That was it. She worked from home. She she made a lot of money, right? But upon making that money, she was talking about she liked brothers, but she had the same talking points as women in the West when they like black men. It's like, oh, I make, I'm strong, independent. I got my own money. It's like, well, I tell women all the time, oh, okay, congratulations, you're an adult. Like, who cares, right? Like, there's a lot of men doing that. I mean, do we have to brag about that to you all the time? No, but anyway, she was making really, really good money as just a translator. All right. But, you know, I missed the opportunity. Oh, here goes World Gym. Hold on. Hold on. This was my gym I used to go to. The inside of this gym right here looks like a spaceship. Hold on. There's so many. It looked like a club on the inside of this gym. That's how it looks. Like this background, I'll show you in a minute, but that's how it looks in the background at this gym. Uh where is it? It's probably in Chinese. Never mind. But anyways, yeah, these are all condos right here. This is Jubei. So if you a young dude trying to move to Asia, I would go to Taiwan because man, Mandarin, it's like, all right, you learn Japanese, that's cool. You could do business in Japan, and there's nothing wrong with that. You learn Korean, you can conduct business in Korea, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't really use that language nowhere else. Like you can't really use Korean anywhere else. You can't really use Japanese anywhere else. I mean, you're able to listen and watch anime in Japanese and entertainment in Japanese without having to translate. People they conduct good business over in Japan, learning Japanese and stuff like that. But man, when you learn Mandarin, right, and you're an American and English is your native tongue, man, like there's so much money, there's so much opportunity, right? It's when you're bilingual and you're fluent in the Chinese language. Oh, it's the opportunities are endless. The opportunities are endless. I used to ride up and down this strip all the time. Okay. Now, for the moment, y'all really been waiting for. I can't really tell you guys about what's it like dating university students in Taiwan because I didn't go to school here. I've been to one campus, but I went to a campus to take pictures and stuff like that. But I was never a student. You know, that's how a lot of people hook up with each other. They meet each other in these neighborhoods, families, friends, school, just hollering at somebody on the street. That's not really how a lot of Asians hook up like we do in America. That's not how a lot of Asians hook up with each other. So this is what an average neighborhood looks like in a back alley neighborhood. It looks like in Taiwan, right? But best way to find a woman of substance in Taiwan is to meet them at university. Because once you meet them past university and they still living at their parents' house and they're a woman of a certain age still living at their parents' house, basically you don't have somebody that's like, that's enthusiastic about, you know, wanting to pair with another man and build with another man and build a family. You don't really run into those kind of women too often once they're a certain age and they're still living at home, which most of them, like if they're not in a relationship, they're still living at home in their 30s, 40s, right? So um so meeting women on the street, you're gonna be kind of frustrated. But let me tell you, see, a lot of condos and stuff, they have that weathered look on the outside of the building, but it still looks I still like the ambiance. It's still artistic. That artful, I guess, kind of dingy look. Um, but yeah, you in order to meet a woman, you want to go to a university and you want to pick the Chinese major because that's going to set you up for life, right? You'll be able easily to work for yourself, right? You don't really have to depend for. I mean, your clients. You work for your clients. You know what I'm saying when you're conducting good business, but you don't really have to show anybody what you look like, right? You can post up advertisements on different websites in the classified section. Um, build a website, offer your services, and you could target students that are getting their not only bachelor's but their master's, especially their masters, right? Because by the time they get their masters, they should be working and going to school at the same time. They should have a little bit of money. So, if it's important for them to graduate, you could be the one like, hey, look, I charge 1,000 Taiwan dollars to translate, to proofread or translate all these documents over here. And even though a lot of people in Taiwan speak English, right? But if you learn Chinese in Taiwan, you can go to China, mainland China, where the English proficiency level is a lot lower and make a grip of money working for yourself. See, I'm trying to set you up. I'm trying to show you something that I didn't do, that I wish I did, right? You make money hand over fist being fluent in both languages, English and Chinese, right? Just translating. While you're in Taiwan, it's best to meet a woman at your school. But here's the thing: in Taiwan, you might not end up with a Taiwanese woman, right? In Taiwan, you just might end up with another foreigner. In Taiwan, you just might end up like myself. I was dating a woman from East Swatini, Africa, Swaziland. It's another grocery store over here. East Swatini, right? Swaziland, as they call it. Uh, I I noticed when I was in Taiwan, a lot of the relationships that foreigners were having were not with Taiwanese women, it was with other foreigners. You see, I met a couple black couples, and they was getting it, right? So you got one guy making probably the boyfriend is making 70,000 Taiwan dollars a month. The girlfriend's making 70,000 Taiwan dollars a month, right? So together they're making 140, 150,000 Taiwan dollars a month. Do you know how much that is? That's probably like uh over probably close to 5,000 TWD to USD. It's 46 150,000 Taiwan dollars is 4,600, around close to 4,700 US dollars a month. And then these condos right here, they're probably going for $500-600 a month in rent, right? So you have a lot of disposable income when you meet somebody. So it's more than likely when you're in Taiwan, even if you go to a university, you're probably going to hook up with another foreigner, right? And then y'all going to make money together. And it's going to be a very lucrative relationship if you hook up with another foreigner besides hooking up with a Taiwanese woman. For them, on average, I'm not saying all of them. There's some women that make money in, in Taiwan. I'm not saying it's based off your relationship with somebody should be based off of money, but getting with another foreigner, it'll be more lucrative, and it's probably more likely to happen if you're in Taiwan and you guys, damn, like especially if both of y'all are majoring in the Chinese language, you could literally conquer, black or not. You know what I'm saying? Especially if both y'all black, man, y'all could still conquer Taiwan and China together. You understand? Like, if both of y'all, and that's a teaching salary, a household income of 150,000 Taiwan dollars a month. Do you know how much money you'll make? Like I said, that woman by herself was able to afford living downtown Taipei in Xinyi district, paying $60,000, 60,000 Taiwan dollars a month in rent. Her income alone was probably 150,000 Taiwan dollars a month. Could you imagine if both you and your partner making like a household income is 300,000 Taiwan dollars a month? That's insane. That's insane, right? And look at this condo right here. And you could probably make more than that. And if you making that much, I notice it's like whatever you're making in Taiwan, you can make even double that in mainland China. So basically in China, you damn near rich. You know, if so I'm trying to set you guys up financially so that, you know, even if it's not something idealistically you want to do, right? But look at the area. You're not gonna get this level of cleanliness in Thailand, which most guys want to go to, right? Even though there's certain spots that are nice in Thailand, it's just like it's not all the way around. Like people in Taiwan, they're more um you know, they don't have like they don't have like this, oh well, the ground is shit, so just throw it out on the street type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? They take care of their environment. You know, they're pretty smart. When I was in Taiwan, where it's like you go to Thailand, it's like, yeah, they'll build a nice mall, but it like around the mall is chaos around the mall. It's struggle all around the mall. You know, yeah, they'll put all this money in building a mall, but they won't fix the roads. They won't fix nothing. You know, they won't fix the environment. But here, you can tell it's like a safe, nice, clean, upscale environment. Right? You're not going to get that in Thailand. You're not going to get this in Thailand. Trust me. This is the gym I was talking about right here. This symbol right here. I forgot the name of this gym, but it's a really nice gym. It's like blue lights, like a blue laser beam all throughout the gym. But oh, I used to ride up and down. I got videos of me riding up and down this strip right here on TikTok. Right, this is the condo I was talking about. But anyways, even idealistically, if that's something you don't want to do, right? Like, I want to go to Japan, but still go to Taiwan first, you know, and you could graduate in like 3 years. You can literally graduate in 3 years if you take summer classes, you major in the Chinese language. I think you could pretty much work wherever you want to in the world, right? So I'm trying to set you up to have your own business and to be financially stable with, you know, with a lucrative business and disposable income. Then you can have the fun, because you can still have fun in Taiwan. It's still fun in Taiwan. There's no bars or clubs in Hsinchu. So if you want to learn Mandarin, you can learn it in Taipei where the nightlife is, right? But um Shinju is more Shinju, like if you need to work, in my opinion, I think for the first 3 years, you just kind of need to, you can still have fun, just have fun on the weekends, right? But if you want to learn Chinese, if you want to learn Mandarin, become fluent while you're going to school, and then uh um like, you know, work on the side to make money and teach on the side, which there's plenty of jobs to do that, definitely stay in Shinju. Definitely stay in Shinju, because it's not going to stress you out teaching these kids. The kids over in Shinju are very, very smart. because they have smart parents, and most of their parents are bilingual, right? So their understanding of the English language is a lot better than the kids over in Taipei, because Taipei, they don't, their parents, most of the kids, parents that drop their kids off, the parents didn't know any English, right? And they still have this mindset, the kids have this mindset of kind of getting over on the parents by, they like, a lot of them, they want a white teacher and stuff like that. I'm not saying you're not gonna run into that in Shinju, but I didn't really run into that in Shinju, right? I didn't run into kids like telling on me. As long as you're cool, them kids ain't gonna just tell on you because they don't like the way you look or your skin or anything like that. I had really, really good kids. And I had really, really good kids in Shinju. And if you want recommendations to different places that will hire you part time and then you can go to school, uh, hit me up on Patreon. I'll be more than happy to tell you all the companies that's over here. But yeah, man, let me that's how you do it in Taiwan. This is how you do it right here, right? You go to you go to Shinju, go to the north side, Jubei, right here, right? He looks like a foreigner. He probably could be a foreigner. I don't know. He probably, nah, he look like he's Taiwanese. But look at it. I mean, you could go to school, have your own apartment, dorm, teach on the side, and be able to afford something like this right around. Um, it's a very health conscious city. People exercise and they look good. It's very, very safe, very, very nice to walk around. The kids are very smart here because the parents work in Science Park. It's easier to teach them. You're not going to make as much money as Taipei, but you still make good money. They have a nice mall over here called Big City Mall. That area is cool, and you can go to Taipei on the weekends to party, right? And while you're going to school, you can connect with the women there, and that's the best way you'll meet somebody of quality in Taipei. Uh, but let me say this: like, I didn't really see too many people hooking up with Taiwanese women. I would see a lot of foreigners with other foreigners in Taiwan. This was one of them countries where black women were choosing up on brothers heavy. Yes, black women were like approaching brothers, choosing up on brothers heavy in Taipei, in Taiwan, excuse me, all over Taiwan. And then, you got women, there's a lot of Southeast African women, a lot of women from East Swatini all over Taiwan. And the women from East Swatini are fine as hell. Fine as hell. Even the big girls are fine from East Swatini that I saw in Taiwan. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you now. Now, like Korea, like I said, you can't really use Korean anywhere else, right? If you major in Korea, it's just like you just choose to be in Korea. Let's say you get tired of Korea, right? What are you leaving with? What skill are you leaving with? This is what I'm trying to put you down and try to get you to understand. I want you to leave with the skill, right? Because a lot of these known YouTubers that are old, right? They're in their 40s, 50s, right? That went to a country and effed around the whole time. Right now, they got a family trying to bring them back to America and they struggling, starting from the bottom. You don't have to do that, right? You do not have to do that. So when you go to Asia, before you start, you could teach, but hey, man, put in that grind for the first 3 years. Learn Mandarin. You could use that anywhere around the world. You can use that language anywhere around the world. I've said the most important languages in the world: English, Spanish, and Mandarin. All right. I'm learning Spanish right now. Get that Mandarin under your belt first. Right. And on Patreon, I drop clues and hints on how to, well, not clues, but tips. My bad. I gave some pointers and tips on how to approach a language. You want to start off learning the most common phrases first. All right. Learn the most common phrases first. Don't learn words, right? You'll learn words, but learn common phrases, words in its context. All right. So, yeah, this is where I used to go to for the gym every day right here. So, look at this. All right. So, let me tell you, you know, and you could do two things at once. You can learn Mandarin, teach, and then, connect with the women in your class all at once, connect with the women at your school all at once. Hell, I hooked up with women from my school, right? There was a couple women I hooked up from my school. I didn't see myself with them long term, but yeah, I used to go to this PX Smart over here. Yeah, this is yeah, this we're right back where we were before at the gym. I used to come here at night. Um I forgot what this was. Right. I forgot what this was. Starberry. I think it's toys or something like that. I don't know. It's another condos you guys could live in right there. Right. But Splash, I really don't want to. It's about survival because let me tell you, you're gonna do what you want in the beginning, and then you're gonna f around, and then either stay too long or you're gonna have regrets, right? Because knowing being fluent in Chinese, man, it's like you could provide a pretty good life for your family. You know, if whether you want to go to China, Taiwan, right, or Japan or whatever, man, you build up your business, especially an online business, and your target market. You just target your market however you can online through through people in whichever country you want, or the people in your area that might be Chinese that need something translated in English or whatever. Man, like I know people who it's lucrative business, right? And then if you ever want to come back home, it's like, you want to try something different. It's like, you can have enough disposable income to where, all right, I can learn this, do this, but I'm bilingual. When you're bilingual, it's like, I don't have to worry about a job. I'm bilingual, right? Right. Regardless if you got to work during the day or at night, from abroad, it's still going to help you out in the long run. English, Mandarin, Spanish. All right. So I would advise go to school in Taiwan. I would highly recommend you go to Shinju and try to live in a neighborhood in Jubei. If it's too expensive, go to East Shinju. Right, go to East Shinju where all the restaurants are. There's some affordable spots over there. All right, I should re-upload those videos I had back in the days of me walking around, um, Shinju. Right, they're still on here. They're still on this channel. And what else? What else? What else? What else? That's about it. Now, do they take kindly to brothers? Um, I talk to a lot of women in Taiwan. I didn't really get anywhere with them. A lot of women, they were. If you want to be a man then I would suggest when you get to Taiwan, hook up with some of the foreigners there. And the foreigner women are kind of desperate. I wouldn't say desperate, but the foreigner women, they're kind of they're easier to talk to in Taiwan. Let me tell you, they're more than willing. Oh, they got a. I didn't know this was here. Okay, Texas Roadhouse in Taiwan. It tastes like shit. Don't eat at Texas Roadhouse in Taiwan. TGI Fridays. It was okay, but I didn't know this was over here. I did not know that. I thought it was only in Taipei. But foreign women, they're easier. They're much like when I walk through the streets, foreign like Western women from like the UK, Australia, America, Canada, they would always say hello. Black women would say hello to me in Taiwan. They would always say hello, right? They was always trying to hook up with brothers in Taiwan. But Taiwanese women, it's like, some of them some of them are cool, but I don't know how the ones in university are. I know the ones that I met on the street they were just real like airheaded, and I'm strong, independent, I don't need a man, but you living with your parents. All of them would say that I'm strong, independent, I don't need a man, but you living with your parents. The easiest women that like to hook up with, which I never did. I never did hook up with these type of women. There was quite a few married Taiwanese women that were really trying to get with me. Right, married Taiwanese women, they be up on brothers in Taiwan. It's just like they want to keep you in their back pocket. They want to get their back blown out, like Tiana Taylor. they 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 don't necessarily want to leave their family. They just want their backs blown out. They want to stop giving sex to the husband, and they want you to blow their backs out. All right, but I would stay away from those kind of women. Right. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with university women. University women are always going to be the best quality. And it might not be saying much, but if you don't meet a university woman, you'll meet a very beautiful African woman in in Taiwan. You'll meet some beautiful and remember what I said, the women of a local country, their men and their people, their communities looking at them. So they're just not so eager to hook up with a foreigner, especially a brother in in Taiwan. But you'll get other Japanese women, other foreign exchange students, so other Asian women like from Vietnam or whatever. If they're going there, then they'll definitely be open minded to dating you because they're not in their home country. So it's going to be the same thing anywhere you go. You see why this person's over here, because in Taiwan, um, you're not allowed to turn from here on a motorbike. You have to turn from here. You have to you have to drive all the way up here and then wait for this light for you to go. You see this box right here? This box is only for motorbike riders. Vehicles cannot park there when they're at the light, right? So it's very motorbike, motorcycle friendly Taiwan. Like, and it's really easy to get a license in Taiwan, whereas it's from what I heard, it's very hard to get a license in Japan. So just to get acclimated within society and within life to live like, back home in Taiwan, it's very, very easy. They don't make you jump through hoops to get no license or anything like that. Hot, Dusty, Hello Splash are the women in Taiwan holding. If not, it's a no-go. You see Hot, Dusty, like I'm trying to teach you something, right? I'm trying to teach y'all something. I know you posted this about 17 minutes ago, but you see what I'm saying? Like, this is more for people who want to live abroad. Like, you guys can't be simple minded. You know what I'm saying? You want to deal with women in a country and they're quote unquote holding something, then shit. Get your get your skill first. Get your skill first. Get your skills up first. Then move to the country of your choice. Look at this part. Now, to answer that question, no. Like, I would say Taiwan doesn't have the best looking women. I'm not saying that they're ugly, but as far as body, face, that's not really Taiwan. Mainland China, them women over there, I would say mainland China has arguably the best looking women in Asia. Between Korea and mainland China, I'm gonna have to give the edge to Korea, but mainland China, them women, they got ass over in China. They got body, they got face, they got it over there in mainland China. Taiwan, no. But see, in mainland China, you're gonna deal with a lot more. You're gonna deal with a lot more racism and bullshit, and like, whereas like Taiwan, it's the version of China that, as far as the people, right? It's the version of China that most people want to experience. Most people, they like, you know, like I like the people of Taiwan a lot more than China. This ain't a diss. I'm telling you my experience. I've lived in both places. All right. So, and look at these condos, man. Come on, look at these condos. So you stay down 3 years, learn your Chinese, meet your woman at the university, and then as soon as you graduate, then you go from there. And here's the thing: if you're a fast learner and you're able to pick up on the Chinese language within a year and a half, then shit, start your business while you're in school. You could start your business right away, so you don't have to be teaching nobody. You could just be translating, right? You can work for the embassy. They got all these little, I think this is a school right here. Yeah, it's an international school. I had an interview with a school from a school over here. Actually, no, I didn't. This wasn't, I don't think this was an interview. I actually had to pick up kids from school over here and take them by bus. So I had to pick them up and bring them to the school I was teaching at. They went to this school right here. A couple of my students. So they go from like their main school to like cram school. And cram is just like they're cramming English all day. And the rule is you're not allowed to speak Chinese. You're not allowed to speak Mandarin. So when a kid is caught speaking Chinese, all the students will throw him under the bus and him or her out under the bus and out him. Somebody will say something in Chinese, like even if they whisper it, a kid or kids, they'll be like, "Oh, no Chinese." But look at this, man. Come on now. I'm trying to show you a much better quality of life. Stop thinking like an N-word. For real. Like that's what pisses me off about the black sector. I don't want to say the word on here, but that's what pisses me off about the black sector of the travel community. Black people just thinking like N-words when they travel abroad. Like I hate that, man. Expand your mind. You know, look how clean this is, right? You can still make good money. You're gaining a skill that you could use anywhere in the world for life. You don't have to work for nobody no more. And, you know, look at the quality and there's good looking women. They might not be Taiwanese when you go to school, but you'll have a good looking woman and, you know, you put your income together and both of y'all can conquer the world and China and Taiwan together, or then you guys can decide to go your separate ways or move to another country, right? But you could feel like a man being with a woman like that because you look how much money you're making as a translator, all right? Me personally, the women that I met in Taiwan, I didn't really care too much for them. I had better relationships with Filipinas, Indonesian women, Eswatini, um, um, South African women, so there's better quality. Like, let me tell you, I'm trying to put you down, right? So don't make the same mistake that I made. If I went to university in Thailand, I wasn't trying to learn Thai. Dude, go to Taiwan, go to Shinju, enroll in a university, major in Chinese, meet women on campus there. You'll be set for life. All right. Then you can leave Taiwan and be like, hey, I want to experience South America. I want to experience Brazil. You got your own business, your online business that you've built up, right? Translator. And you can live anywhere around the world, disposable income. You can start a family. You take care of your family, paying all the bills wherever you go, right? You and your family could travel around the world. Okay, now I want to experience Europe. Now you got the money to experience Europe without having to work for anybody. You just get up and go. Then you want to experience Africa, you could just get up and go. Oh, I want to go to Vancouver. Just get up and go. I'm setting it up for you. But just coming over here wanting to teaching English, like, what skill are you leaving with? So I had a skill before I went to Asia. Then when I came back, I just used that skill, and I'm using that skill now. But you see a lot of guys leaving Asia without getting a skill, and they're fucked. They're struggling, right? Some of these guys, their women make more than them. You don't really feel like the man in your house ever. You're just an English teacher. Why not be a translator, right? Or what do they call it? Linguistics or whatever. I knew a bunch of people. There was one guy I went to school with. He spoke English, Thai, and Korean, had his own place, living on the east side of Bangkok in the Mega Bangna area, had a real nice townhouse. Young guy. And that was English, Thai, and Korean. Imagine English, Chinese, Spanish. So use that time wisely while you're over there. Don't use it to just teach English and fuck off. You're gonna screw yourself over in the long run. Anyways, man, that's over. I'm over and I'm out. You guys take care. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.